Alright, so now we're going to begin our unit on circles. So we've looked at parallelograms, and this unit, like I said, is on circles. And today we're looking at circumference. So we're going to first talk about how you name a circle and the different parts, and then we'll look at the circumference of a circle. So a circle is a set of all points that's the same distance from one point. So you have your point in the middle, and it's the set of points that's the same distance around that. The middle point is considered the center, and the radius goes from the center to the edge. A chord goes from one side of the circle to another side. It can go through the center, but it doesn't have to. So that's a chord. The diameter is a chord that does go through the center. So if it goes through the center, that's called the diameter. Concentric circles are two circles that have the same center. So co means with. So if I had two circles, same center, they're going to be concentric. And then circumference is the length of the distance around the circle. All right, so those are some of the terms we're going to see. We're also going to work with pi a little bit, and then we'll start talking about inscriptions and things inscribed in circles or circumscribed. So again, like I said, a radius is goes from the center and it goes to the edge of the circle, and we're going to name them like a line segment. So CD is a radius from here to here. CE, here to here, and CF. Those are our radii. A chord is anything that goes from one side to the other. So AB is a chord, and DE is a chord. Again, two letters with a line over it are all chords. Notice we're naming the circle with a little circle, and then the letter of the center there. Right, and then the diameter would be, an example of the diameter is DE. It's a chord that goes through the center. So here we're going to name the circle. So the circle is named by that center letter. So it would be, we draw a little circle and we use that point there. So that's the name of the circle. And identify a radius. So we have two here. We have EB is a radius, and you could also say BE, same thing, and ED is a radii. So those are some examples of that. But the circle has to be named by that center letter. It only has one name. So we're going to identify a chord and a diameter. So we have a few chords. So some chords that we have are XZ, WY, WZ. But a chord that is also the diameter would only be XZ or WY. All right, so we gave some examples of these. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next part. When we're finding the circumference, so again, that is, actually this is finding the radius or diameter, excuse me. Radius is always half the diameter because it goes from the center through, and the diameter goes all the way across through the center. And the diameter is twice the radius, so just want to reinforce that. So RT is a radius. So QV, or is a diameter, so QV is a radius. So if the diameter is 21, then the radius, QV, is 21 divided by 2, which equals 10.5. So if QS, the diameter is 26, then RV, which is a radius, is going to be half of that, so it's going to be 26 divided by 2, which equals 13. All right, and again, two circles are congruent if they have the same radius, because that all the circles are similar, and concentric circles, like I said, have the same center. So we want to find the measure in intersecting circles. So here we have the diameter of circle X, this circle. So the diameter of this circle all the way across is 22. So that means this length is half of that, 11. The diameter of Y, this circle, here is 16. So the length from Y to W is 5. And we want to find X, Y. So this total length here from here to here, and we know WZ, sorry, the diameter is, so this would be 8 and this is 5. So we know that this length here from here to here, that makes this 6. So 6, 5, and 8 are my total distance to find XY. So XY equals 6 plus 5 plus 8, or 19. All right. So the last thing that we want to talk about is circumference. Circumference can be found two ways. So it is a length. It's like if I took a piece of string and went around the outside, how long would that string be? And you can find that by taking the diameter times pi, and pi is 3.14 approximately, so you can use 3.14 or leave it in pi. And the circumference, if you're of the radius, is 2r, because 2 times the radius is the diameter times pi. So pi d is circumference. A series of crop circles was discovered in Alberta, Canada on September 4th, 1999. The largest of the 3 circles had a radius of 30 feet. Find the circumference. So we have this circle, radius 30. So since I'm given the radius, I'm going to use 2 pi r for my circumference. So I'm going to go 2 times 3.14 times the radius of 30. And then you can just put that, or you, like I said, you could leave it as 60 pi. Or put in your plug it at 3.14 in your calculator. Actually, a lot of your calculators have a pi button, so it might be a little bit different if you, as we get into using pi, if you use that pi button or if you use 3.14, but it should be pretty close. So 188.4, and we're in feet. So we want to leave that in feet. It's not squared because it's not covering it. It's just the distance around. The Unisphere is a giant steel globe that sits in the Flushing Meadows Corona Park in Queens, New York. It has a diameter of 120. Find its circumference. The circumference equals pi times diameter. So pi times 120, or 120 times 3.14. $376.99 would be as if I used the pi button. So about 377 feet. Okay, if we're given the circumference and we're finding the diameter, we're going to put that in. So here, we want to find the diameter if our circumference is 65.4. So since I'm looking for diameter, I'm going to use this equation, and I'm going to put in what I know. I know my circumference, my C, is 65.4. We know what pi is, and we're looking for D. So we're going to divide by pi. and I get 20.82, so 20.8. So D equals 20.8. Here we're finding radius, so we can do this two ways. We can find the diameter and then divide that in half, or we can use our circumference that has radius, which is 2 pi r. Plug in again the amount of the circumference for C. 2, we know what that is, pi, and we're looking for r, so we're going to divide by 2 pi. And we get 2.67 meters. Right. When it does ask for exact, we want to use the pi. So we can see that word exact, we would leave it in pi. So we'd find this, we know this equals the same as this, so we want to find the radius to find circumference. So x squared plus x squared equals 3 square root of 2 squared, because that's a right triangle there. So 2x squared equals 18. When we square that, 3 square root of 3. We square the 3, which is 9, and then the square root of, when you square this, you just get 2, so 18. Divide by 2. X squared equals 9. So x equals 3. So my radius is 3. So to find my circumference, after I found my radius, I'm going to go circumference equals 2 pi times the radius. So 6 pi, and we're going to leave it like that because it asked for the exact. So 6 pi would be my answer. So check that wording when you're doing that. All right, that is it. I'll let you work out that example. Hope you guys have a great day.